Oh my god, hi. Yes, it's me. I am still alive. Today the subject of the video is pretty simple. It's about my first relationship. Or at least the first one that I was conscious for. And when I say conscious, I mean like that I like remember, Cause the ones before, well, I was way too young to remember. And it was to people of my age. I don't mean that like I was too young and stuff happened. I don't mean it like that. Just to be clear. Alright, so well, for first one, second one technically, because the first one I counted because I did something major. Okay, hold on, let me explain. The way that I count a relationship is pretty simple. If I was in a thing with a girl and we did something major that we wouldn't have done as friends, that's how I counted for like the times that I was like too young. And when I say too young, I mean like like 8, 9, 10. That's how I count it. Like if we kissed at some point, shit, I don't kiss my homies. We held hands and like walked around the school. I don't hold hands with my homies. Pretty much, yeah. That's how I count it. Anyways, though, my second, I think I don't really count those because I'm not like a trophy holder. I'm not gonna be like me. I've had many, 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 many girls on this pea shooter. Pea shooter because I was young, by the way. Because I'm gonna move on. Anyways, though, it was seventh grade. It was seventh grade. Okay, seventh grade, right? I was a pretty wild and chaotic kid who told himself that like, ooh, I'm not gonna have a girlfriend until seventh grade, like when I start like middle school and I'm saying middle school for the Americans, the idiots, but for others, seventh grade, you know, high school. Anyways, though, I told myself that I wouldn't do that, and that would let me have fun, like experience life and shit. And then for me, basically having a girlfriend meant like I would be locked up. Well, locked up is crazy. I would be locked down. I couldn't do a lot of stuff because I had to be concentrated on this relationship. Anyways, though, what happened was I was I'm stupid. What I meant to say without stuttering is that I enrolled into this new school after moving again because I kept moving, family stuff and shit. And then I met this group of friends because the thing with moving is that you're a new side character in someone's mainline story, even if you have your own mainline story. Because when you join, people already know each other, people already talk each other, they already have their inside jokes, and you're just like, hey, I'm the new guy. You're the new nigga in their story. But anyways, though, I joined this new friend group because I was part of this program that's basically like extra sports. Okay, it was a very complicated program, but just take it as extra sports because I'm not taking my time to explain none of this. Just look it up or something. It was extra sports. You know, we were like a built-in football team because we had football more than we had anything else, but we need to have everything else to play football. Anyways, though, let me move on. Um, At some point, I remember as I was acting like a turbulent and very crazy child because I was short. Remember that last video I said that short teenagers or short people with like little voices are always trying their best to like, stand out and shit? That's what I meant. Because I was one of those! I was one of you niggas! I was one of you! But basically though, yeah, I tried my best to stand out by being like kind of crazy, doing weird stuff. I stabbed people with pencils. I was short. A bunch of stuff happened to me that kind of made me think that like, oh, I should embrace this humiliation ritual that I am engaging in. Because like I remember I had a crazy ass haircut. Let's not switch the subject. Because if I switch the subject, I'm gonna take off some subjects that I could have used for other videos. So let me focus. Anyways, though, as I was saying, I love saying that. I was sort of like a basically built-in football team that also had a football team. So we were like part of the school football team too. I said football team a lot of times. Anyways, though, I was a part of that football team, and at some point we had practice. And since we had practice, we had to wait for the practice to start. And since we have to wait for the practice to start, we had to like go to the cafeteria, the empty cafeteria to like wait and shit. And that's when I met. No, I'm kidding. That's when I was just like kind of messing around. So me and my friends did belt battles. Yeah, like we fought with belts. Yes, I basically just chased. Whoa, I basically just chased some. Damn, I basically just chased someone with a belt around the cafeteria for like a solid hour. But there's context to that. The context is that girls were around. That's the context. That's the context. Girls were around, and short people, as said before, they do anything to like stand out. And when there's a girl around, oh my god, dude, hey, I would turn into prime Michael Jordan, and I would fail. That's the problem. Anyways, though, the girls that were around were like this one short girl, uh, and this one taller girl. That's all that I can remember from them. To be honest, I have very bad memory. Anyways, though, I was chasing this nigga on like they were filming it on like Instagram Live and shit, and then shit happens. A little bit of extra context before I move on from this section of the story. As a kid, I pretty much had no one. Like when I say no one, I don't mean on some like Naruto shit on some like oh my god I was alone, but I was. I had no homies in like no. I had this homie that I really love to this day, but I ain't have like crucial homies that moved with me as I moved. So I was kind of a lonely child until I had my first little brother at the age of 10. But anyways, yeah, no, I was a pretty lonely child. So like I would trauma dump a lot to like get people to feel bad for me and like play with me and shit. So at some point, okay, what does that have to do with the story? Let me move on. So at some point, later on, I'm texting the little girl. Little girl is crazy. I'm texting the girl that looked shorter that was in the proximity of the area where I was chasing my homie with a belt. And then I'm like, yo, how's it going? And stuff. We're just talking. We're just talking. I can't lie to you. I don't remember what brought this subject up, but at some point we were talking about relationships, and then I was like, oh, do you know any girls that I could date and stuff? Like, do you guys have anyone that I could like date and shit? Like on some chill shit. Then she gave me two choices. Now I can't lie to you. At this point, I think I've experienced blonde dating because she just gave me. I had Tinder before Tinder. I had school Tinder before Tinder. What can I say? What can I say? I just had game like that. And you, my bad. Anywho, she presented me to like this girl. I'm gonna call her the first one. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm gonna call her first heartbreak because that shit really hurt me. Why did it hurt me? Let's move on. Okay, so as she puts me on to first heartbreak. Okay, I'm gonna change the name because giving her a function is kind of crazy. That's like if I said, hey, I'm gonna call her bitch, because that bitch broke my heart. She did, but she's not a bitch. We were children, and I was just it was my fault. I'm gonna call her Haitian. Anyways, though, Haitian and I kind of hit it off, kind of small. Her friend kind of linked us up together, and at some point we decided to have this a little cafeteria date. That's the best I could afford, man. I was 13 without a job and without money. African parents do not give you money. Anyways, as we have this cafeteria date, everything is really awkward because I said before I've limited myself to little relationships that last over a year because I have to move out, and romance animes and shit, and me not interacting with girls that often. So I didn't know how to treat her, but I tried my best to like treat her well, I guess. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So then we decided that we was dating. I was very happy, very hyped. But the thing is that I was too hyped, too happy. And I said before I never had no one with me. So I was kind of like well, at first she asked me to share my account with her. I was very stressed because I'm gonna be completely honest. As a teenager, I was scared that she would land on something crazy on my account because I've already shared my account with someone before and he did some fucked up shit on it. So yeah. And to this day, I don't know why she said that, but I'm guessing that someone told her something or she saw something. Cause bro, I was stressed like shit. Like, did I text someone that I wasn't supposed to text? Did I do something? So I didn't give her that account, by the way. The subject changed. The mind of a teenager is easy to manipulate. the mind of a teenager as a teenager is easy to like, persuade off. You just have to not mention the subject. Is very complicated, but better way to explain it than to just say you can manipulate teenagers. Anyways, my problem was that as I texted her way too much. As I talked to her way too much. I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you?" I was very clingy, fucking idiot. Anyways, I was spam texting her. Yeah, that's the reason why recently I'm more of a like chill texter, or I try my best not to like spam people because it really reminds me of that of how I just I kind of fucked up. So yeah, basically what happened was that I was spam texting her a little bit too much. Then another one of her homies that's also my homie texted me and was like, "Hey, chill on the texting." I was like, "What? Why? What the fuck? What are you talking about?" Then she said, "Chill on the texting because old girl trying to break up with you. Like she want to break up with you because you're doing this shit." And first off, great homie. I ended up having a crush on her later. Let's not talk about that yet. As she told me that, I was so scared. I didn't text her that much, but I was still like trying to like talk to try my best and like evade the impossible outcome. And then boom, one day it happened. We need to talk. And as I read that shit, I was like, "Oh, no way! No! You're fucking with me. You don't mean that." Nah, she broke up with me. Yeah. It was pretty sad, but yeah. Right now, I can say back then that shit broke my fucking ribs, bro. I was crying. I was so sad because this is the first time I cried in a long time. Except for like whoopings. Whoa, if I never had my ass whooped, this would be the first time I've ever cried since I was a baby, bro. Well, actually, since sixth grade, because moving out, a lot of pressure on my heart, because I really like those guys. Anyways, though, first time I cried in a long time, I was shocked. I was like, "Whoa, fuck, I fucked up bad." I was distraught. I was like crying. I went to the living room. No one was home, because lucky me, I was crying. I had a bowl of ice cream with me. I was eating ice cream, crying, and I was watching Sex Education at some point. Worst mistake of my life. I'm never watching that fucking show again. Yeah, but yeah, no, I was crying and shit went badly. Then I did the worst shit ever. I went to my phone, I went on Instagram and I texted one of her friends and I was like crying on the voice message thinking that like it would do something, thinking it was over points. Oh yeah, back then it didn't really swipe points, I guess. Yeah, so I was crying on the phone like she loves me. She loves me. What did I do? Why was she leave like that? Like I was messed up. It really messed me up that day. But the next day, as I gathered all my mind, I was just like, damn, I discovered this fire ass sad album. But on the other hand, damn, I really did that. I really sent that voice message. But even if I sent that voice message, even if it was high school, those girls did not make fun of me. They decided to help me get back with that girl, and they would never make fun of me with that voice message. Is what I would say if I tried to like make up stories. They clowned the shit out of me, and I tried my best to deny that shit. I was like, nah, bro, I was faking it, bro. I was faking it. Jesus Christ, stop it, oh my God. But I wasn't faking it. I was truly hurt. Yeah, there was this other time where like I tried to hug her. Well, we tried to hug each other when we were still dating. And since I was so self conscious about the fact that I'm gonna be completely honest, guys, what we're all adults here, okay? I'm gonna be completely honest. When I was hugging her, I was like, oh, I don't want my shit to be poking her. I don't want her to feel the mini Glock. So I was like, as I was hugging her, yeah. As I was hugging her, I was like leaning back from the bottom side of my frail little body to make sure that like it didn't come into contact. So it looked like a very awkward hug. I can't lie to you. I also, yeah, no, that's pretty much it for now. Except for the fact that we went back together. Yep. It happened. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the between, but I should keep those that stuff so I can like tell a middle school story, a high school story, whatever. If you guys are interested, of course. The 14 people that view my video each day and never like and or comment and or subscribe. I know who you are. The reason for me to kill my. As I was saying though, we went back together at some point because a bunch of shenanigans happened. And this time, I'm not gonna say I was ready, but I didn't really care that much. Well, we both didn't. It was weird. I didn't care that much because, I've already been hurt before. Now I'm just focused on making homies. You ain't gonna stop me. I could have been the greatest gamer alive. Pause. Let me continue. Um, I had to take that pause. Sorry. Yeah, we went back together. I didn't really care that much because you already hurt me. So if you broke up with me again, I would just be like, damn, I'm sorry, I guess. Why we break up? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why we broke up again was also my fault. Cause like I may have said in a voice, no, well, I may have talked to my homie about something, and someone may have recorded me and sent it to her, where I was like, oh, I mean, I don't really care that much. We're back together, but like, meh, like it doesn't matter. And they sent that to her, and she was like, "Yo, what the fuck? What you mean?" And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, shawty, chill. We can talk about this, yo." But yeah, yeah, nah, we broke up again. Then later on, I did something very stupid. I got $10, right? I had $10. So then, with that $10, I traded it with one of my friends to have a full pack of Oreos. What did I? No, no, no. That's not what I did. That's not what I did. I traded a pack of Oreos for the $10. My God, I was young. I do not remember. As I traded that in, I had the $10 with me. I don't remember the full exact context, but I owed her like $2. Guess what I did with that fucking $10? I didn't give it to her. I decided to be mature for my age and to move on. I decided that maybe I shouldn't try and do anything and act mysterious to try and gain her heart slowly, slowly, slowly by, step by step and shit. No, I didn't do that. That's a fucking lie. I went and gave her the $10, by the way. Just to be clear, I'm lying. Yeah, yeah, I went and gave her that shit. I'm an idiot, I'm a doofus, but I was a lover boy. I was a lover boy. Yeah, a dumbass one though. Something else happened between that I remember. At some point, I also had like a chocolate bar, like a Milky Way chocolate bar. Just so you know, right? In context to the fact that I had that shit, I am a hungry ass nigga. I would eat anything. I'm gonna talk about my food addiction some other point, but just know that I really love, love, love food. And as I really love food, guess what I did with that Milky Way chocolate bar? Two people were asking for it, right? One of my homies, he a white little kid. He was like asking for my Milky Way chocolate. Pause. Let me just say the bar, the food bar, because the way that I'm saying it sounds crazy. This little kid, he was asking for my Milky Way chocolate. Like, bro, hold on. Um, he was asking for my snack, and in my brain, no one else was asking but him, by the way. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna give her. Let's pretend that didn't happen. I said, nah, I'm gonna give it to Haitian. Mind you, we weren't together at that point. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, nah, that's pretty much all that happened in my second canonic. Why am I alive? Why am I alive? You get the point. All I'm saying is, I've learned a lot for that point. First off, crying over girls. Are we serious? Are we fucking serious? Nowadays, I don't cry over nothing but money. And if my girlfriend is listening to this, I'm lying. I would I have feelings, you know. I like to get emotional and shit, you know. But to be real though, hey, only a few things I cry about. That one Adventure Time song, knowing that a show that I loved as a kid is ending, nostalgia, and food and wasted food. The rest it's debatable, you know. Anyways though, that's the end, you know. A lesson that I learned. What am I spinning? Have I not said this before? A lesson that I will teach my siblings from what I have learned from this experience. Never trust a bitch. No, I'm kidding. I'll just teach them, you know, like try not. Okay, you can give a girl attention, but don't make her the only thing you give attention to, or else you know your life is gonna be pretty shitty. You know, have other things to do in life, or else shit will go bad. And don't manipulate women. Never do that. And when I say that, I mean like don't just manipulate women. By the way, I mean like manipulate someone you can, not just specifically women. Okay, bye.